Let us have this series of problems about projectiles. Before we continue, you will notice set of equations in finding variables in x and y components. They are designated by each letter. Later, I will ask you to choose which among these formula are applicable in the given problems. Let's have the example number 1. Right off a cliff's edge, a stunt rider has jumped with his motorcycle with a horizontal velocity of 9.0 meters per second. Determine the motorcycle's position 1 second after it took off the cliff's edge. In this problem, we are asked to determine the position of the motorcycle along the horizontal and along the vertical. Among the equations on the left, which two equations do you think are the most appropriate in finding x and y positions? Very good. In finding the position along the horizontal component, we will use the equation x is equal to v sub 0x multiplied by t, while for the vertical component, we will use the equation y is equal to 1/2 gt squared, which is a derived formula from equation 3 in the left side. Since initial position and initial velocity in y components are not given in the problem, and therefore are 0, let us now solve this. For the horizontal component, x is equal to 9.0 meters per second, our initial velocity, times 1 second, the elapsed time. Our final answer would be 9 meters. For the vertical component, we substitute the values and perform the operations as indicated. Therefore, the final answer is negative 4.9 meters. Hence, we can say from this that the position of the motorcycle along the horizontal is 9.0 meters and along the vertical is negative 4.9 meters after it took the cliff's edge. The negative position along the vertical implies that the motorcycle's final position is below its initial position. Let us solve this problem number 2. Calculate from how high a ball will fall if it is thrown upward with a final velocity of 10 meters per second and lands 30.5 meters away from the horizontal. You are asked to determine the ball's final position along the vertical. Get your calculator and notebook and try to solve this problem. In this problem, the final position along the horizontal x and the final velocity v sub x are given. Since we established that the elapsed time for both vertical and horizontal components are the same, we can use the formula v is equal to distance over time, which we can rearrange and appropriately labeled as t is equal to x over v sub x. Substituting the values and performing the operation, we will have the elapsed time as 3.05 seconds. Now, using the equation y is equal to 1/2 gt squared, which is derived from the equation 3 from the left, since initial position and initial velocity in y components are 0, we can find the position y by substituting the values and performing the integrated operations. Our final position is negative 45.6 meters. This means that the ball fell from an elevated height of 45.6 meters. Now, let us solve this last problem. A block of wood fell off a horizontal desk with a velocity of 1.10 meters per second and landed on the floor after 0.48 seconds. Calculate how high the desk is from the floor and how far from the desk edge the wood will be when it hits the floor. I will post this video for you to try to work. Before we end this video, I provided some examples for you to work on at the end of this lesson. In the next lecture, we shall discuss projectiles launch an angle. That is all for this lecture. I am Gilmar Di Castro, and see you in the next video.